Good evening and welcome to Quick Bites with Coach Coates. This is the show that we've been doing all year long. Today, we're going to come to you and let you know that is the end of my 30-day challenge, which I crushed all of my goals and I love it. I know a couple of you out there also are working on the challenge and I hope you did the same. Today, we're going to do spaghetti squash, okay? This is one of my new loves for some reason because it's so easy to cook, first of all. But before we get into that, let's talk about the journey, okay? Let's face it, it's all about the journey. My journey started, I was a wrestler at Cal State Fullerton in the peak and pinnacle of shape mentally and physically, spiritually also. Went through life after about 20 years, gained a little bit of weight and, not really eating the right things. And what I realized, because at that time I thought if I worked out 2 hours a day, I could eat anything I wanted. But I realized you can't really do that, okay? Moving on, 20 years down the road, I was at my low point, 425 pounds. I know. Well, as of today, I was 245 pounds. That's a difference of 180 pounds, and I love it. I'm pretty much eating what I want. I try to eat for nutrition now, basically. And you'll see from my quick bites, for example, my super greens. I use kale, purple kale, spinach, and rainbow chard, red chard or rainbow chard, either one of those two. But nutritionally, those are some of the densest foods that we have on this earth. So they are amazing for you. Spaghetti squash is amazing also. One of the reasons why I like that is squash is pretty good nutritionally. It's a very water-based vegetable, and it's pretty good for you. So how did I do all this, and how did it affect me? Well, I can tell you this. I stopped eating meat about a year ago. No, a year and a month ago. And for me, for my body, that was the most important thing. I've been able to get rid of all the inflammation. Again, I've lost 180 pounds, not by any chemicals, not by any pills, not by anything like that. Naturally, through balance, through exercise. And here's one of the big ones, people: meditation. You have to calm your mind. The reason why you have to calm your mind is because of a hormone called cortisol. Okay. And when that hormone kicks in, it's making us store fat, store fat, store fat. So no matter what we're eating, it's storing fat. So meditation is a huge part of it. Now, again, getting back to my journey, I started out as a college athlete in the pinnacle of shape. I'm kind of biased because I believe wrestlers are the baddest individuals on this earth, and they are, let's face it. Started out as a wrestler, moved on after my college career. Actually, one of the things I don't talk about a lot is I was involved in a car accident. I was actually on track to be one of the competitors to vie for the Olympic team in wrestling. And I was in an automobile accident, and that changed everything. My activity level went down. I didn't gain weight. I'd gain about 10 pounds a year. So after about 10 years, that's a lot of weight. That's 100 pounds. So I found myself, at 300 pounds. But at 300 pounds, I could move, I could do everything else. And I could convince myself that I wasn't doing the wrong thing. Well, it took another 20 years and another 100 pounds, well, actually 125 pounds. So, about a year ago, I weighed 425 pounds when I decided to make some lifestyle changes. And I tell you, you can too. It is totally within your grasp. For those of you who want help, put your name down in the chat, put your email down there. We'll start to converse over this time to make sure that you're doing all the things that you can do to necessarily to get that weight off of you and to live a better life. I can't tell you how much my life has changed. I mean, I get up and walk, I do all these things. And, for example, if you talk to my grandson or my stepdaughter, they'll tell you I had no energy before, no energy. It took all my energy to walk, talk, anything else. Now, I mean, I can run in the parking lot with the cart with a mirror and stuff like that. So that makes life so much funner. I know I just really enjoy everything. But again, one of the most important parts of this whole thing is your meditation. How you deal with your mind is critical. The mind helps us to remove hormones that make us store fat. Okay. All right. Moving on. Okay. Today we're going to do spaghetti squash. Spaghetti squash is one of my favorite because first of all, who doesn't like spaghetti? Everybody likes spaghetti. Okay. And with this recipe, okay, a lot of people just throw tomato sauce. They go buy it at the store and throw tomato sauce in there. And I'm not hating. Hey, I've done it before myself. But what you can do also is make sure when you buy that tomato sauce, make sure it's organic. Make sure the first 5 ingredients, there's no chemical names or sugar or any of that stuff in there. And then, you're not doing bad. Now, me, I kind of make it from scratch most of the time. I may use a little bit of spaghetti sauce, but then I cut my tomatoes and onions, and I'm going to show you that right now, how we're going to do that. And then we'll move into the spaghetti squash. If you have any questions while we're on the line, go ahead and put them in the chat and we'll get to them. All right, I'm going to move down to my cutting board, which I have down here. And here we go. As I said, we're going to begin by slicing our tomatoes. And I like these little tiny cherry tomatoes. You know, I like the rainbow colors because that's one of my favorite techniques really with changing my diet, is making sure that I have a different color of everything in my food. You know, they say the more vibrant the colors, the more nutritional value the fruits and vegetables have. And that is totally the truth. Okay, so now I'm going to sit here and I'm going to slice these up. Okay, as you see, I'm going to just make my slices. Now, a lot of people don't like the seeds. I go back and forth. Some I'll seed and some I won't seed there. So I'm going to slice those all the way down. Okay, and on the stove right now, I've got a pot boiling where I've cut up some more in the name of time. I've already crushed my tomatoes, and I'm going to move that into here. There we go. Get some orange in that red. I love it. See, these are the little tomatoes that I was talking about. Okay, I love these. They're multicolored. You can get them at any market. You know, at first I was using a lot of stuff from a lot of specialty stores. Well, what I found is some of the people are like, you know, I don't have access to that because, you know, I've got some people that live in Australia that watch us, and I've got people that live on the East Coast that watch us that don't necessarily have the access to the stuff that we have. So what I started doing is I just started going to, you know, your regular stores, your regular grocery stores that you find everywhere, and using the ingredients that they have there. So let me cut up one more tomato, and then I'm going to move over to the stove real quick and put that in my pot. Okay, there we go. See that right there? Isn't that beautiful? All those vibrant colors. Okay, I'm simply going to put that in my sauce.
Can you use the other?
Yes. Okay. Gonna get my sauce going here. All right. Now, while that's going, I'm gonna cut up a couple more onions. You know, I think one of the main reasons why I've been able to lose this weight because my love of cooking, and I was able to make the adjustment from, you know, just being a carnivore to using vegetables in everything I do. But not just that, also portion control. You can't just eat everything. Now, sometimes I'm not gonna lie, I will take 2 cups of salad and, you know, all the greens and stuff, but, you know, those are vegetables that you're really not gaining any weight on. So if you want to, you know, throw down a mac, hey, take 2 cups of, you know, for example, 1 cup of spinach, 1 cup of lettuce, baby bell peppers, some onions, a really good salad dressing without a lot of calories. That's fine to eat that whole thing. But I think where we get in trouble most of the time is with junk food, is with processed food. And everybody knows what processed food is. If you can stay away from that, you're doing pretty good. Now, let me step over to the stove and make sure that this is working. Okay. Wow, that looks good, doesn't it? Does that look amazing or what? Okay, now that we've got that done, we're going to make room here. And here is our spaghetti squash. Okay, look at that. Okay, now let me tell you what I did on this. Okay, this is so easy, you're just gonna trip out. I put it in the oven. Put the oven at 375. Turn on the oven for 45 minutes. But one of the little secrets that I do, I like to put a little bit of cinnamon, just a little bit of salt, sometimes just a dab of honey and pepper on there with just a spray of olive oil. And man, does it come out amazing. But let me show you, all right? First, we need a fork and also a plate, excuse me. Haha, we're back. Okay, so all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stick my fork into the spaghetti squash and I'm gonna twist it. And look at that. Look what comes out. It's like spaghetti. Yeah, there we go. Now watch this. All right. Okay. Let me move over a little bit. There we go. Okay. We're going to stick it in here and we're going to twist. It is that simple. Then on the sides here, all we're going to do is we're going to scrape it off the sides. There we go. Just like that. Okay. You know, that is a habit of mine that I really need to get rid of, saying, okay. My sons tease me about it all the time, but that's okay. All right. Now, look at that. It looks just like spaghetti, doesn't it? Now, again, what do? We put it in the oven for 45 minutes. Oh, excuse me. Let me back up on that, okay? I took the spaghetti squash. I washed it first, cut it in half, scooped out all of the seeds. Then we put just a little bit of olive oil on it, put some black bell pepper, some black pepper and a little bit of seasoning salt. And here we go. Now, from my spaghetti sauce, step over to the oven here. Okay. Do you see that, folks? That is just plain goodness. Now let's talk about how we made this. Well, this took a while. I started off with the tomatoes, stewed the tomatoes, let them cook down for about half an hour until I got my sauce going. Added a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, belted up, put some garlic in there because I love garlic and garlic is very good for you also, okay? Next, I put in my baby bell peppers and then I started adding my tomatoes in slowly and slowly over about an hour, cooking it on low heat. And man, I'm telling you, if you tasted this, you would be just so impressed. And again, you can just buy the store-bought stuff, but what I'm saying is when you buy that, don't settle for the processed stuff. The processed stuff is what's making you gain weight, okay? All right, let's get this plated here. Ooh, ooh, ooh. There we go. Now, for my color, and I always eat these, I'm sorry, but this is just, I think I run on these because Super Greens just have so many amazing vitamins and minerals. Let me grab my Super Greens. Da-da-da-da, Super Greens, yes. Grab my Super Greens here. And again, this is a combination of rainbow chard, purple kale, and spinach. And you know, the key is that you have to season them right. You have to put a little bit of Himalayan sea salt on them. You have to put a little bit of cracked bell pepper or cracked pepper, black pepper. And then, you know, sometimes I like to add my bell peppers in there. Sometimes some onions. Just depends. Okay. All right, folks. A meal fit for a king or a queen. We have our Super Greens and our spaghetti squash with our homemade sauce. I love it. I love it. All right, folks, that is our quick bites for the day. Again, this is Coach Coates coming to you. We had an amazing time today. Are there any questions before we get going? All right.